chase success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
6 league goals and 3 assists in just 14.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to 2026 and another round of the LinkedIn Gremlins getting us. I hope you all are here. If you all are here, please say hi in the comments to let us know. Welcome to another episode where we talk everything about menopause. All the best for 2026. New year, new me, and all that jazz. so, um, so I'm gonna have to try and wing it because I'm hardly hearing anything. I've had a lot of technical difficulties on my side, but that's okay. That's what menopause does sometimes. So um, let me start by welcoming my lovely guests who are on stage. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, Brenda for being here. I'm so excited to talk to you, and gosh, half the show is already gone. So let's do a quick round of introductions, of minutes of introductions, and then we get the show started. Brenda, why don't you go first?
Yes, I'm Brenda Lisa Costa. For those who don't know me, I am an embodiment and energetic coach. I help women go from that are business owners go from stuck to having constant and increased revenue. So that's my goal in life. I'm on a mission, and my mission is to help more women embrace wealth. And that's what I'm called for, and I'm going to do it. And that's what 2026 is all about.
Well said.
And I'm an NLP practitioner.
Okay, so yeah, I'm hardly hearing. Uh, so I'm just gonna have to read lips apparently. Paulette, my friend, I'm so happy you're here. Hope you're not in too much pain today. Thank you for joining us. Let the people know who you are.
Brenda Lee, just finish what you were saying.
Well, no. What I was going to say is I'm an NLP master practitioner, hypnotherapist, and I am a breathwork coach. And I follow a holistic approach in everything I do. That's what I was going to say. But thank you, Paulette.
So, well, most people know me. Paulette Hallam. I'm kind of here as a therapist stroke, dare I say, mental wellness coach. But really, I came on LinkedIn as an author to help with children's self-help. I'm still doing that. That's my main goal in life, is to give every child the opportunity to have an easier life. That's what I am. That's what I do. But you also will know me for many other things before that. I made it to the C-suite. I got to the top of the game, and then quit and became a therapist when my son needed me. So that's an update on me. Over to Ennio Song.
Me? I'm just a techie guy, right? I sit here, I press buttons, and I do as I'm told half the time. So it's all good. If you want a book published, let's talk. Otherwise, leave me be, right? Lisa, I'm keeping quiet.
Have you all introduced yourselves? Because I'm really flying blind here. My God, this is going to be interesting. For those of you all who don't know me, my name is Lisa Farek. I'm a dietitian, educator, and a coach for menopausal women. I eat, sleep, and breathe menopause, and my purpose, especially doing these LinkedIn lives, is to bring that awareness, bring that education and empowerment to women so that they are able to make decisions for themselves, talk to doctors, and get the right sort of assistance where needed. Today, we're talking about New Year resolutions and making those goals. I know in menopause that can be a challenge. So I wanted to do a show, start the year off talking about what those goals are, what it could mean, and how we could best make those goals with as least stress as possible. You are hearing me clearly, right? Okay, great. All right. So, excuse my makeshift studio today. um, yeah, lots of tech difficulties today, but That's what menopause does sometimes. It brings a lot of stress, or because of the stress, we get menopausal symptoms. And whether you're in perimenopause, which means you're still having a menstrual cycle, or you're in postmenopause, which means you've gone the 12 months without having a menstrual cycle, you're in menopause for one day, and then the next day after that, for the rest of your life, you're in postmenopause, which means you still can experience symptoms. When we're trying to make goals for ourselves, it could be really challenging. That decision making process is actually hampered because we're in menopause. So, whether it's because of memory loss or brain fog or concentration issues, or whether because we're in menopause, we have more anxiety, more depression, we have more things to deal with. So, whether it's family stress, work stress, um, children leaving the nest, and we're wondering, okay, well, what's next for us? Because we always identified as being a mother or somebody's wife, and now we have to make goals for ourselves. Also, the environment plays a lot into it. So, a lot of us are still in winter. So, we're having shorter days, less sunlight, which means less vitamin D. And vitamin D is actually important for helping with those mood swings and that decision making process. So, there are a lot of things coming at us, and then we're trying to set goals, whether it's your health goals or weight loss goals, or maybe this is a time you're reflecting on if I want to stay in this job, do I want a side hustle? All these decisions we're trying to make, and we're having to do all of those things while take care of others and then go through menopause. So I wanted to bring in Brenda Lees because I know she deals a lot with this. You may know her from being a breathwork coach. So, wanted to start the conversation as to what do you see in your practice? What do women come saying? Because I want women to also know that all of these things they're experiencing are quite normal, especially in midlife, especially in menopause, and for men as well. This is a time of we're excited to set new goals, but we're wondering if we're setting the right goals or if we could actually live up to those goals. So, what are you seeing in your practice? And then, Paulette, you could add your 2 cents because I'm not going to hear what you all are saying.
Okay, so there's a lot of things I'm seeing when it comes to setting goals. Number one is too many things. Like people want to do too many things at the same time, and when we're trying to juggle and kind of split our attention between too many things, we get lost. So I one of the things that I love doing is ensuring that we're focusing on that one thing. So, and I'll give a really quick example of this. Last year, I realized in my business that I wanted to do it all. I was participating in a lot of events. I had all these ideas of different programs I could launch. I had all these things going on for me. But it was like because I was going through the perimenopause, right? Like my mind was scattered everywhere, and I realized that taking a step back and saying, okay, no, these are all distractions. I'm just going to focus on one thing for my business, one outcome, and I'm going to have the best output as it comes into that outcome. So that focus was key in helping me shift from having all the multiple little goals into no, if it doesn't fit within this, I'm not entertaining it. And it honors your energy. It honors your energy completely. And I know, Lisa, you can't hear, right? This is funny. Back at you.
If the host can't hear us, we're in trouble, right?
This is funny.
It's okay. I've just sent her a message saying what you just said. So it's good. I'm typing away. It's fine. I've got this. Don't worry about that. Sure.
So we literally are on a mission here. We're gonna do the event regardless of. We're gonna reinvent ourselves, and whatever whichever way it happens, it's gonna happen.
Has Lisa got a
Absolutely.
second device, or has she only got one device?
I don't know, but I've just sent it to her LinkedIn so she can read it there, and then we'll go from there. So, from my perspective,
why is she
well,
muted?
she's
Is
not
she
muted.
muted?
She's disappeared. She's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
She has left the building.
All right. I'm looking somewhere else then. Go on, Paulette.
But we'll be coming back. In exactly the same sort of line that Brenda Lee said, is that when people get confused, they fail because they set themselves a target or a number that is, I want to achieve 100,000 when last year they made 20. Why would they think that in a year they could change that gap to of 80,000 without making steps to get there? And the problem that I foresee is that failure becomes overwhelming for them, and then they don't want to put themselves in the position of making another goal because now I'm a failure and I will keep failing. And then the old subconscious starts saying, don't forget you failed last time, so why didn't you pass it this time? And then you end up in this whole like cycle of setting goals, failing goals, setting goals, failing goals. So in the same way that Brenda Lee said, I think you have to be very, very strict with yourself and say, right, this is what I want to do, and these are the steps I'll take to get there. And all the way through, I'll have like checklists to see how far I've gone and how I'm doing. And after so many months, check to see whether I'm even getting there or if there's a chance I'm going to make it. And you might even find you're going to exceed it. But keep checking, keep going back to your list and saying, this is what I wanted to do. And if you find yourself veering off, but it's to a money direction, don't criticize yourself because you veered off, because you found the road that was meant for you. Everyone has a plan, and that plan is set out for you. And you might think that you're going down this route, but you might end up going down that route. So be open-minded to changing the plan and not being rigid in your thinking is what I would say. So get the confidence in belief that you can do it. Don't set yourself up to fail, and don't tell yourself you're going to fail, because there's one sure thing, that if you keep telling yourself you're going to fail, you will. So, I'm a great believer that when you see a puddle and you think, could I make it? Will I jump over it? Or will I go in it? And if you tell yourself you're going to go in it, there's a 99.9% chance you're going in it, right? But if you believe you can jump over it, there's a strong chance you'll get over the puddle and not land right in the middle. So it's a lot about, mental agility. It's about being willing to trust yourself and set a process for yourself. Give yourself every chance to succeed and not every chance to fail. Did you hear any of that, Lisa? No. I will send her a message.
Yeah.
I'll send her a message over to you.
I guess, can I piggyback out of what you said?
Please do.
Okay, so one of the you said a whole bunch of things that I feel they're great, like having that accountability, having that plan. This is the goal, and then having that plan. I also see a lot of people that they have the plan and they're just not taking action, right? And for me, the way I see this is, I see that self-doubt, procrastination, fear of action, all of that, for me, all of these are connected to that feeling of safety in your body, right? So if we are setting goals that for some reason go against what our values are, or go against what our self-preservation is, we're gonna fight them, we're not gonna do them. So if you realize, and a very simple hack that people can do is look at your goal and check it against your values. Is there any conflict that your goal has against your values? Then you have to go back to the drawing board. Because if your goal is not in alignment with the values, then it's not probably going to happen. Because 90% of our actions are coming from our top 5 values. So if our top 5 values are not reflected into our goals, then it makes it even harder for us to execute.
100%. And I think that just by piggybacking again, what we have to do is also try to start from like a clean slate, like, kind of like wipe the slate clean. Today is the first of whatever month, or what, don't call it January, because I hate the January I will do this. This is the new me. This is what I'm hoping to achieve. And then keep checking back on yourself to make sure you're giving yourself as you say, check your values, make sure that you're not being pushed in a direction you don't think you should be going. Don't overstretch yourself financially if you don't think you should be. Don't feel pushed into going on courses that you can't afford to go on, because if you are an entrepreneur and you have given up your salary, money will be short in the short term whilst you're building your business up. And people don't think about that. They think, oh, I've got 2 months money in the bank, I'll be fine, and it doesn't always work out that way. And then they find themselves panicking. So I also say, make sure that you plan to do the things you want to do. So, for example, if Brenda Lisa's got a course you want to do, plan for it, build it into your costings so you can go on it to promote yourself, to give yourself the chance to do what you want to do, as opposed to going on a load of, I don't know, Microsoft or Zoom courses or whatever, spending lots and lots and lots of money, and actually that's not getting you any closer to your goal. And I think that's something I've seen people spend a huge amount of money thinking they need to go and learn to be a business person, when they've been doing it all along anyway. They just didn't know they were. So don't commit to a load of courses like Microsoft, like, I'm not saying don't better yourself. I'm not saying about don't get training. I'm saying get the right training, get the right help, and get the courses that will actually take you closer to what you wanted to do. And Brenda Lisa's course is one of those. If you want to write a book, get a good publisher to work with you. Don't just go to anybody. There are things that we need to do in life, that we need to do the research. Do the research. Look into what it is you want to do, and then take that leap of faith. But as you say, make sure it's in alignment, because you'll fail if it's not in alignment. Because if you've got strong values, you'll be in conflict. Lisa, did you get my message?
Speak, Lisa. It's all yours. Speak, Lisa. You're going to hold the sign up whilst you're doing all that. So let me know. Welcome, Natalie. Of course, I see you. You said Charito's here as well. So welcome.
I was gonna say, maybe someone can contact her and she can send us the questions, and at least we can walk through the questions that she had.
We are DMing her as we speak. I am. So is Paulette, I'm sure. But there's a delay somewhere.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're saying. But and he's keeping me in the loop over WhatsApp. So I love the points that I cannot see that either. I love the points that you all were making before about having that confidence and that belief in yourself, because perimenopause and menopause erodes that confidence in many women. So they start second guessing themselves and doubting that they're making the right decision. And another point that you all were making is that your goals must be aligned with your values. And I think that was so important because many times, because we're losing that confidence, we're listening to others. What maybe our parents want for us, or what we think is expected of us from our partners or at work. And we start making these goals that aren't realistic and it doesn't match the time that we are in our lives. So I love those points that you'll bring on, and I hope persons listening, whether it's live or on the replay, get a sense that it may not be the right decision 100%, but this is the time that you get to pause and look at where you are and what do you really want. What do you really want for the next 3 months? Maybe looking at a year may be too much, maybe overwhelming. But what do you want to achieve in the next 3 months? Is it a health goal? And I would suggest doing one or two goals instead of trying to do 10 and 20 goals. Let's focus on two goals, maybe something personal and something for work. So if it's personal, maybe it's a health goal. Okay, I want to lose some weight. What's realistic for me right now? Because I can have all these grand plans to go to the gym and to meal prep, but if my life right now doesn't accommodate for that, if I'm working and I have big projects where I'm going to work when it's dark, I'm coming home when it's dark, so I'm not actually getting time to go to the gym, then is that goal that you're setting realistic for the time you're in right now? Maybe next 3 months things will change, but what can I do right now so that I can achieve something that's realistic, that will fit the time? And they always go back to those SMART goals, right? Specific and time bound, etc., etc. But I love that you say go back to your values. What is important to you, not your partner or anybody else? What is important to you right now? And that's where that goal setting should stem from. So I really appreciate that. I know you put up any questions from the audience so far? Or can I ask my next question? And whatever Paula is writing, I'm not seeing at all. I don't know if I can
Let
even
me
make
work
that.
with Coach. Okay, I tell you what. Let me make it easier for you. There you go.
Nope, it's
Yeah.
too
What
light.
questions would you like to
Oh,
ask?
let me look at brighten screen.
What questions would you like to talk about?
Uh, what would you like to talk about?
Yeah, questions. Yeah.
I
It's like charades, right? It's a game. You know.
think it's better if we do a user marker. I'm not silly pen. Oh my gosh, this 2026 already started with a bang.
You know.
So what I wanted to find out, especially since a lot of the women, it's LinkedIn, it's a business page, a lot of us are working. What's a, how do we go about setting those goals, especially when we're stressed? And when we set, and I'm suggesting, just one or two goals and maybe work every quarter, but how do I relieve that stress and achieve that goal? So I know Brandalise talks a lot about stress relief and things that we could do in that way. And Paulette, I know you were involved in the work world and mentoring other people. So maybe we could go there. How do I set an achievable goal? So how do I know it's the right goal for me? And what can I do to relieve that stress in setting that goal?
Good question.
Um,
Gun. Yeah.
can you hear?
And
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Brandalise is talking, but any need to spotlight whoever's talking.
Yeah. Any, I cannot see myself in the camera. I
Oh,
think
sorry,
it's focused
sorry,
on
sorry,
Paulette.
sorry, sorry. All right, calm down. Calm down. I say,
Okay, okay, here we go.
okay.
Okay. So there's a couple of things that for me, I think they're important. One is to set the time to plan because stress and anxiety come from the not knowing, from the not having clarity. So one of my favorite things to do, and I'm a stickler to this, and I'm already working on my goals for Q2, Q3. I have already mapped out my goals for Q2, Q3, and Q4. Because from a business point of view, I like to set my goals in a way that I'm actually right now working on what I'm going to be benefiting from 3 months from now. The same way I think about it from a personal point of view. What am I going to be working on right now might not have a direct impact or result immediately, but it's more what I'm gonna be experiencing 3, 6, 9 months down the road, right? So one is sit down and have that clear vision of who you wanna be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, 12 months from now, and then think about what actions and then that person that you're being, then what actions does that version of you take naturally, and what are the results that are that person that you want to be it's having. And I think if you look at where you want to be and then kind of map it backwards, it kind of helps a little bit with the stress and the anxiety, because now you're sitting down and creating a plan. So for me, it's all about one, sitting down, having the clarity. And once I write it, how does it feel in my body? Is it bringing something that I need to work on, that for whatever reason I need to work on? Then that's perfectly fine. Let's work on that so my goal doesn't get deviated. And then it's about, I write it everywhere. And this is my simple way of delivering the message. I write it everywhere as if the goal has already been done, because I feel that like knowing that somewhere in the future that goal is already done, and writing it as if it's already being done, I'm tapping into the energies and the emotions and the state that version of me already has. So that for me is the key. So one, let me just summarize really quickly. Have that clear vision looking forward and then walk backwards. So where do you want to be 6, 9, 10, 12 months down the road? And what actions do you need to start taking now in order for that version of you to become the reality? Write it as it is already done, and write it everywhere. Everywhere. Now, when you wake up in the mornings, then you can actually read the goal because it's written everywhere. It's even in my screen in my phone. Like, it's everywhere. My goal is everywhere, reminding me that I already have achieved this somewhere in the universe.
And I actually 100% agree, because psychologically it's been proven that by manifesting and by believing that the goal is already achieved, that you've already lived it, that you are, if you want that house, you got to envisage yourself living in that house. If you want to be a footballer, you've got to envisage yourself playing football. It's no good saying I want to be a professional footballer and spending all your time on the basketball pitch, or court. You have to have the vision, the belief, the psychological process, which again is about reinforcement. So yes, write it if you can on your mirrors, put it on your phone, put it everywhere. The most important thing is self-belief for me. It's about knowing I can do it. Every morning, waking up and going, today I'm going to do X towards achieving whatever it is I want to do. And if you don't feel like that, don't do it, because you're going to actually be doing something detrimental. Wait until your mindset is positive and then go again. Because if you start to feel negative towards something, I can't do it, it's not working, throwing paper in the air, but like when you start to write a chapter of a book and you're throwing pieces of paper around the room, walk away, have a coffee, go take some time away from it, then come back and then start again with a pen and paper. I really believe that you have to be prepared to sometimes say, today's not a good day. Today's just not happening for me. I need to come back tomorrow with a different mindset and then go again. And there's when I've helped people as a mentor, and we've had, you know, the SMART goals or whatever you want to call them, I've always felt the most important thing about it is having to be not necessarily accountable, because again, accountability is a bit of a difficult one for me sometimes. I don't think we need an accountability partner. I don't think we need to be checked on constantly. We can be our own accountability partner. We can have our own checklist to know where we needed to be by a certain time in a certain quarter. But what we used to do was we'd have a 3-month, a 6-month, a 9-month, and a 12-month. And it would just be a sit down, and it would be a what's working, what's not working, how are you finding this, how you're not finding that, what do you need help with, where could you see us helping you to achieve what you're trying to do, what are you failing in your objectives, where are you lacking, is it training, is it money, is it understanding, is it staffing, what is it that's causing you to feel like you're not going to achieve your quarter 1 figures, your quarter 2 figures, or your personal goals, in that you wanted to be management by the end of the year? Whatever it is, everything is measurable. But I'm very, very aware that the SMART goal doesn't work for everybody. But for me, as a manager and as a mentor, I think that having somebody sit down with you and go through things with you helps people to understand that they're getting somewhere. People sometimes feel like they're just flailing, they're just trying, but they don't know whether they're winning or not. Let's not let people flail. Let's pick people up, carry them to the next stage, give them the help required. Then they can go on and become the success they deserve to be. We often find that people fail because of not fail, but flail because they're lacking in something. And it could even be back to Brenda Lee's point, that their goals aren't in alignment. Then you will flail, because that in itself will create a conflict from within. If you've got personality issues with members of staff or with the management or whatever, if you've got disagreements with things, that negative energy will massively affect what's going on with your goals. Having menopause, premenopause, perimenopause, any menopausal activity can create confusion, can create a level of I have fibromyalgia, and I understand that I will go to the filing cupboard of words and pick the wrong one. I'm one either side of the right one, but the meaning could be very different. And that happened to me once, and everyone burst out laughing. And then I looked and said, "What did I say?" And then when they told me, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But we laughed about it. But that was because they knew me. If you didn't know that person, would you react the same way? So if you are in that perimenopause, menopausal state, and you have got that, if you like, word search issue, or you feel like you're losing direction sometimes, those are for me, that's when you need to take a tea break, take a coffee break, today's not the day I'm going to push it so hard, and give yourself grace to go away and come back better tomorrow, better face to face, whatever it is you've got to do. If you set yourself a challenge of running up an icy hill, the chances are you're going to come back down to the bottom very quickly. So don't be unrealistic with your expectations. Be realistic. If you can feel yourself flailing, then today's the day we go gentle. We go gentle on ourselves, and we go gentle on the people around us. That's my take. Do you have anything to add?
No.
Can Lisa hear us by any chance?
Right.
He's just smiling. Hello.
Oh, Paulette is just giving so much, so much today. And he's busy writing the amount of notes that you all are giving.
Can't see that. I'm
Oh,
typing like a freak. I'm typing. Never typed so
um,
fast.
l- let me just add to what, I mean, all the information that was said. I don't think I have much to add to that. But Vandaliz, you talked about the vision for yourself. And I was reading a book called The Power of Habits by Charles, oh my gosh, let me, Duhigg. Why do we want, why we do what we do and how to change. And it speaks to some of the things you were talking about. So he was saying, okay, if you want to be, let's say you want to run a 5K. Okay, so look at the people who run 5Ks and what are some of the habits they have and start adopting those. Because you want to be a 5K runner, you should be doing the same things that they are doing. So are they getting up earlier? Are they eating certain foods? Because you want to adopt those habits. It's easy to model after someone else. Now, you're not going to take everything, it may not be applicable to you. So, for example, they may run before work and that can't work for you. You have to do it after work. So, you have to really pick and choose what works for you. But to be the person you are looking towards, that vision of the person you want to be, you need to write down. And I always love physically writing with pen and paper because those things, it tends to stick more when you actually write it out. But what is the vision you want for yourself? And then what are the steps to get you there? If I want to lose weight this year, what are the things that a healthy person does to lose that weight? So a healthy person may eat more salads. They may eat more vegetables with each meal. They may get up and meditate before picking up their phones. Are these some of the habits that will work for me to get me where I'm going? So I'll put a link to the book in the comments because it speaks exactly to that. And I love how he phrases things. And Paulette, you would let me just go back to having that accountability partner. And I think especially for women in menopause, where every time I talk to them, they always feel alone. Even though they're surrounded by many people and they may have lots of family members, they always feel as if no one understands what they're going through and they feel very alone. So having an accountability partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's a coach that you hire, someone that can tell you the same things that Paulette was talking about, making sure you stay positive, making sure that what you say you'll do, you actually do. And making sure that you don't say things like, I'm going to try to do this, right? The great Yoda from Star Wars said, do or do not. I hope I don't butcher what he's saying, but do or do not. There's no try. As soon as you include try into your message, it means you could fail or succeed. But if I'm going to do it and if I get to do these things, then it's on me to say, okay, what do I get to do this morning? As a healthy person, what do I get to do? I get to wake up and not pick up the phone and start scrolling so that all that negativity comes at me. Because now I'm giving my thoughts to whoever's on the other end of that phone. I'm giving my freedom, my positivity to whatever I pick up. Let me start with something else. Let me start with a nice cup of tea and maybe some journaling. Maybe let's start with a walk around the park or around my house, wherever it is, right? So I think those points are really important that you brought, and I hope people are making notes. It's easy to set those New Year's resolutions, but most of the time they fail because we're not putting the right intention behind it. We're not having the right sort of mindset behind it. And then a lot of times we're not actually writing out the steps it will take to get there. Okay, so whatever is that big goal, great, but what are the actual steps that is going to take to get me there and in what time frame? And I love having that, always having that accountability partner because We all fall off. Even us as coaches, we need another coach to help us through. Okay. Oh gosh, and I don't know if it's just me, but Annie is no longer on my screen. I know that he said that there was someone backstage. I'm not sure if that person is still there. Anya is, well, it's not like I could hear anything, but Anya, are you still there? Okay,
All
I'm
right.
seeing someone
I
on
refreshed my
He's
stage.
screen
here.
and here I am. So, Dr. Yvonne, please feel free.
Are there any comments before Dr. Is it Dr. Yvonne? This thing is so
Yeah,
small.
yeah,
Before
yeah.
Dr. Yvonne speaks, are there any comments you want to share, put up on your screen? Is any, okay, good. Hi,
Let's
Ashley.
keep
He
more.
always has these great one-liners.
Health is wealth. Let's go from there, all right? So, Platine, welcome. So, Leslie's here. Welcome to you, Sean Michael. So, hi to everyone. Happy Tuesday to you too. So Bobby. Hello, Natalie. So glad you're here. So Professor Roxana is here as well. Who else do we have? Who else do we have? So Kenny. Kenny's always here. Savor the flavor, says Kenny, as always. So Michael's here as well. Who else? Have I missed anyone? I don't think I've missed anyone. Oh, I'm trying. I'm scrolling very quickly, right? What's that say? I'm grateful experiencing the results of a constructive work day and night, and yourself. Okay. So Bobby says quite simply, goals plus values equals success. And there's hard work there somewhere, right? That's where you have to put the work in. So Meryl, welcome. Says hi everyone, popping in for a short while from Paramus,
Oh,
West
wow.
New Jersey. Okay. I live and learn, right? There's many comments.
Okay, great.
I can't cover all of them. What's that say? Okay. LinkedIn user, Dr. Yvonne? I don't know. So, no. Anyway, let's go to Dr. Yvonne. I think we've covered everyone. Oh no, Chase is here in African AIMT. So welcome, glad you're here. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Bridge later. Happy New Year to you. So what? Try and indicate self-doubt or lack of confidence. No, let's not try. Let's do. I agree with that. I agree. So
I
that's
like that comment from Bobby Lee Clark.
yeah. No, so
Like that.
those are most of the comments. So, Dr. Yvonne, talk to us.
Well, hello everyone,
Thank
and
you for your patience. How are you?
I'm fine. You know, Annie, we spoke earlier. I'm literally just getting home from the appointments today, which very constructive. But in listening to the ladies, what it sounds like to me is manifestation. And when you talk about setting goals, yeah, the intention is everything. It's almost as though, like if someone doesn't care for you, let's say someone doesn't care for you, um, you can tell their intentions, okay? And you go from there. So it's the same thing when you want to have something happen in your life. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to see it. And then, yes, you have to head towards it. And there are going to be a lot of barriers. And I also think that you don't speak about it. You don't tell anyone about it. Now, maybe you might have someone that you might consider very close to you, and maybe you share a lot. But in my 100 years of living, in my experience, I can honestly tell you, sometimes you might be telling someone that you think loves you, and what they want to see you do is fail. So they place doubt. And I have learned that silence is, especially for women, the biggest lesson. Silence about where you want to go, what your goals are, how you're feeling about them. I do not talk about those things anymore. Um, Now, as far as putting paper to pen, I totally agree. Journaling is very healthy. It's how you could just pour yourself out on the pages. I always have my clients journal, and I tell my clients that if they work with me, it's holistic. It's not just one part of their life, because how do you achieve balance and success if you do not have a grounded center? So, journaling is uber important, because there are things that you're going to put down there on paper that you might not have even thought about until you started writing. So, it's very helpful. But what these ladies sound like they're talking about to me more than anything, and I have this metaphysical thing going and the spiritual thing going, and I believe that some of the worst things that ever happened in my life, I had to turn it around mentally and emotionally. And I had to say those were my best teachers, because those lessons I will never repeat again. Although there's some lessons I just kept repeating, kept repeating. And being Caribbean, you know, um, the narcissism in our culture, like, period. And I got to speak just from my experience, okay? And I have a really large family, but it was normal. It's it's a normal part of our culture, but we don't see it as narcissistic behavior until we're on the outside looking at ourselves. We don't look the same. We don't like ourselves. We substitute everything for everybody else, and we accept breadcrumbs. It is when we change our intention, understand our value, really be the master of our own ship, and live in silence. Because when someone really loves you, listen, they will not hurt you. And they will not say to you, you cannot do this, and this is not good, and look at your failure. They're going to be your biggest cheerleader. And because of that, your intention for yourself has to be clear. You can't need somebody else to tell you that you're capable, but you do want someone in your corner that's going to support you. You need that support. You need that soft space to land. And when you think about all of those things and combine them together, whether it's the beginning of a new year or whether it's the end of a year, it doesn't matter where you are in the spectrum. What matters is, how is my mindset? Am I clear with my intentions? And is everything that I am doing focused and in the moment in which I'm doing it? And I'm literally speaking from life. I am speaking from life. And I know it helps a lot of people that come and talk to me. And then when they decide that they want to work, they have to want to work. See, some people don't want to do the work. They'll say yes, and they might come a couple times, or they might do things, even if they sign a contract. But if their intent is not to get to their real life goal, and they're not willing to do the work, well, then, they're just actually going to be floundering out there. So, yes, journaling is important. Yes, intent is important. All those things, combine can make you reach your goals. And I agree with taking the try out of your vocabulary, because you're going to do it. If you have the intent to do it, might take you a little bit longer. You might choose a different road. But if you're supposed to be on that road, as far as your goal, you're going to achieve it. Just believe in yourself. Those are my thoughts. Thank you, ladies.
I'm going to just quickly piggyback off the back of what Dr. Yvonne was saying. It's one of the things that I was going through my mind was I always used to celebrate the wins. I think that is really important along the way. So if you have, let's just say for argument's sake, it was a weight loss situation and you lost a couple of pounds, celebrate the win. I don't mean go out and eat so many calories you put that weight back on. I mean, just give yourself the treat that you deserve. If it's a business situation and you've got a good order that's come in, or you've got a new contract that you've signed, celebrate it, because it's putting you on the journey of you getting to the eventual number. So celebrate along the way. Don't just wait to celebrate at the end of the year and go, oh, I missed it by whatever, because you might have achieved it in quarter one, you might have achieved quarter two. Quarter three wasn't so great, but quarter four, you came in great. So give yourself the benefit of winning along the way, because when you feel like you've won, you're motivated. You celebrate that, you motivate yourself, you re-motivate yourself to go on again. And that feeling is so great of winning and achieving and doing. You feel like, yeah, I'm going to do it again. So I think celebrating the win along the way is a great way to motivate yourself to your eventual goal. Just wanted to throw that in because it backs on the back of what Dr. Yvonne was saying. I know Lisa can't hear. My sign language skills are rubbish, so I know Annie's typing away. So Brenda Lise, do you want to jump in quick?
Yes, I want to jump in really quickly. So there's a couple of things I wanted to add, and one of them being celebration is important. So even if you sit weekly or at the end of the day and write down, maybe just keep a small notebook, or like I do, I have posted business like cards that I actually write at the end of the day. It's write down what are the things you did achieve that day that you want to celebrate, because we forget. And like one of the things that I really love about having my own personal coach is two things. One is having the accountability with the coach, because I know I'm going to meet with her in 10 days. That means I'm already working on my goal, because I'm not going to go empty handed to the next meeting with her. I'm going to go in with progress. And second is, one of the things she asked me to do is reflect on what were my wins during the last 14 days, because we meet twice a month. So I'm writing down there all the wins, all the wins, all the wins. When I write down them daily, it's so much easier for me to go back and say, okay, these are the things that I have actually achieved. And I think that delivers a really important message to us about progress, because we are actually signaling to our unconscious mind that, yes, we're serious about this and we're doing the work. The second thing is, in terms of celebrations, I go with the rule of celebrate and adjust your goal when you're 80% into it. So let's say you have a business goal for Q1 to be, or for the end of the year to be 150K in your business. Let's make that assumption. Or to lose whatever weights you want to lose. When you're getting to 80% of it, celebrate it big and start thinking about how that goal can transform to something bigger. So what's next for you? So that way it's not like, oh, I achieved the goal, what I'm going to do now. No, you're already thinking of what that next step it's going to be, and you're celebrating. So my rule with my clients is 80% of the goal is achieved. We celebrate big, and we start to adjust if we need to. And then the other thing is, and this is to Dr. Yvonne Smith feedback that she said about silence. I think that's a very deep belief. For me, I don't believe necessarily that I need to keep my things quiet. I'm an open book. I share everything with everyone. When people go into my Instagram and I'm sharing my stories, I'm sharing about what I'm working on. Maybe there's a surprise or two, but I'm always sharing, because for me, my belief is I don't need to be quiet. The more I share with people, the more I'm signaling that I'm serious about this goal and I'm taking action. And now people are looking at me from an accountability perspective, right? So I know that sometimes we may feel that sharing our goals may feel that, other people may have different perspective about them, and it might impact how we achieve our goals or not. For me, that's not a belief I carry. My belief is I'm 100% in control of my goals. And as a result, if I share it, nobody's going to jinx it, because I'm the one that is 100% in control of them. So I think, I respect what Dr. Yvonne mentioned, but I just wanted to offer a different perspective, because I do feel that what we believe, it's what our reality becomes. And that's what I wanted to share.
Definitely, when you have masterminds, you tend to stick with only the people in the mastermind know of the goals, or know of what you're planning or you're achieving, or hoping to achieve. I think when you're talking about new products, new development, that kind of stuff, secrecy is really important.
Yes.
When it's a mastermind, I get that it's really important that you stick in that team, because you're working together as a team to create the results and the goals. But when we're talking about entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, or people that are just starting out, or people that are just giving themselves the best possible shot at something they've always wanted to do, if they've planned, if they've got the right intention, if their work ethic is there, if they're self-motivated. Do you know the amount of bloody CVs? Sorry, I saw the amount of CVs that I have read that say, I am very self-motivated. And then when you employ them, they sit there with their pen going, and you want me to do what? And you're like, no, 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 off you go. This is what I need you to do by the end of the month. Off you go. And they sit there going, where to start, and you realize that the self-motivated go-getter that you were thinking you're employing isn't quite what you thought. That person, to transition into becoming a solopreneur or an entrepreneur, will flail very quickly, because they won't be motivated enough, have the right intention, the right work ethic to succeed. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but how many people have started a diet and failed because they really didn't have the right intention? They really didn't have the desire to do what they were doing. They were just kind of giving it a bit of a go. They were trying. So let's go back to people that say they want to do this, they have the intentions to do this, they're motivated to do this, they visualized, manifested, they've written everything down, they've got an accountability partner, they've got somebody to support them, someone to be their cheerleader, somebody to motivate them, help celebrate the wins. Let's just say get to quarter 3, sit down with them, and they say, I'm not going to achieve my goal. What Brenda Lee said earlier on was so very important. If up to quarter 3 has been great, but quarter 4 is looking quiet because there's maybe wars going on, because maybe there's extraneous situations that are out of your control that are affecting your business, you cannot be held accountable for that. That's a separate issue to your own accountabilities and determinations. But what I would say is, if you've achieved everything along the way, like Brenda Lee said, you celebrate the wins all the way. And if you get to quarter three and you're 75% in, and then stuff starts to happen, for goodness sake, celebrate getting to 75%, because that was a huge achievement, right? Compare that to the year before, compare that to not doing anything, then you have achieved so much. So I really believe that you need to motivate yourself, celebrate the wins, and be so focused and so determined that you want this. I think it's the desire, it's want, and it's that visualization, it's manifesting those beliefs that it's going to happen, it will be happening. I see myself in my new car that I'll be able to afford because I will have achieved all of this. You know, smell the leather. It's something that we've all heard, we've all read the books, we all know what people are talking about. But I think when we're out there on our own, it's a very different story. And I, for one, certainly have spoken to many people who thought being an entrepreneur, being a solopreneur, even my younger foster brother who decided he was going to become a landlord. He's going to buy lots of properties and rent them out. I don't know quite how the magic happens, but he was going to get all this money and people were going to invest in him, and he was going to become a landlord, rent all these properties out. And he had a valuation on the first property he bought. He did it up averagely, not brilliantly, but we will gave him the yay, well done for your attempting at plastering. That is bloody awful, but well done. He had a valuation and it was like £35,000 more than he paid for it. And when he took off all the costs of not his labour, but the costs of the materials, it was about a £30,000 profit. He sent a message to his older brother, who's a policeman, works horrendously long hours, is in drugs, works with dogs, helping sniffer dogs. It's got a horrible, horrible job sometimes. Does some really gross things with people that are moving drugs about, and pretty gross most people out. I won't go into it, but it's not a great. Sometimes the job isn't great. And he wrote this brother a note that said, "Guess what? If you work out £30,000 profit over 3 months, 3.5 months, that's so many thousands a day, so many thousands a week, blah, 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 blah." And there you are looking up the backsides of men for drugs. I think I might be the winner here. I might be the chosen brother. I've got the best job. Haven't I done well? Now the older brother phoned me and said, "Can you believe he sent me this message?" And I was like, "Whoa, let me talk to him." So I phoned him and I said, "I believe you sent a message to Adam." And he said, "Yeah, I did." I said, "Why?" He says, "I was showing off. I was proud of myself." And I was like, "When you've sold it, we'll have the conversation, because you haven't sold it. You've had an estate agent come round and give you a valuation." He ended up making £15,000 and it took nearly a year to sell it. You take that 15,000 over a year, it's a bit of a different story to 30,000 over 3 months. And that's a great example of winning and failing and lying and cheating yourself. Yeah? You're telling yourself, "Look at me, I've done all this, I'm such a success." You're not a success until it's finished. We always used to say you can't count your chickens before they're hatched, right? Yeah, it's a very famous saying in the UK. And I think it's really true that we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. But I do think that in his case, it was just pure, showmanship. Look what I've achieved. Look what I've done. Look at this. Look at that. And the reality was very different. It took him a year to sell this property. So in the end, he didn't win the great, "Look at me, I'm such a superstar." And I think it was the best lesson that could ever have happened, because what it did was make him far more cautious on house 2. He was far less likely to tell anybody about his expected profits. He was very, very quiet and dare I say meager about what he thought he'd achieve. And then he overachieved what he said because he set the number, the realization very low because of what had previously happened. That is an example to me of where the narcissism that Dr. Eve was talking about, that kind of cockiness. Look at how look at me. This is easy. Hey, I did it in the first house. Look at me. I made 30 grand. I'm a star. And then it all fell about very quickly around his ears. And I was quite pleased. Isn't that awful that I say that? But I was pleased because it meant that he would have learned the biggest lesson of all, that house number 2 is going to be a very different story. And that is a great lesson for everybody to take from this, which is set your stall out, be determined, be focused, be realistic, but also enjoy. Enjoy the wins, enjoy getting there, enjoy the road, enjoy meeting people along the way and gaining stuff from them. Make it a journey that is fun and encouraging for you and others. I believe that will make your manifestation, your energy more positive, your whole being will be so much more upbeat. And that is really important to success. And so, from that story, I hope people get that, the cocky little devil that thought it made a fortune on house 1 fell flat on his face by the end of it. And that's a really relevant point, that we shouldn't count our chickens. Let's just be smart about the things we do. Anyone want to jump in?
Lisa wants to jump in. Go on, Lisa.
Hi. Yeah. Are you hearing me clearly? Oh gosh, my camera.
We hear you. We hear you.
Yes. You hear me clearly, right? Okay, great. So I love that you all spend so much time focusing on celebrating your wins, because especially the women that I see, they don't look at that close enough. We're always looking at the failures, the things we didn't do right, the things we didn't get used to doing, and we don't spend enough time focusing on, okay, I got this done today, and it moved me one step closer to my goal. And I think that you're spending so much time on that aspect is really important. Um, and having that accountability partner, as Dr. Yvonne was saying, don't tell the whole world, tell 1 or 2 people, but those are the people you should surround yourself with to have that accountability, to help you celebrate your win. So that's very important, and I really appreciate that. So I know we're coming to a close, and somehow my data is running out. I don't know why. But let me just ask you to give one short. Oh gosh, I see the word just went out my head. If there's one thing someone listening should do, what is that advice you'd give them? Brenda Lee, we could start with you.
I missed the question. Can you ask it again? Or
You heard the question, right?
I missed the question.
Oh, so I was saying, if there's one tip you could give someone listening, because we're about to end the show, because I'm not sure how long my phone is going to last. What is one tip you'll give to someone listening right now?
One step that they can do?
One tip.
Uh-huh. One tip. Okay. One tip for me is, when you're creating the goals and when you're doing all of this, sit down and plan. I think it's like, give yourself permission to dream, And at the same time, while you give yourself permission to dream, sit down and plan. Because when you're planning, you're delivering a very distinct message to your subconscious mind. I don't know if
Yeah.
Annie is typing directly
You
to
know,
me.
Oh yeah, I'm anti-jazz.
Paulette,
Okay,
you could go ahead.
mine would be really to visualize success and review regularly. Celebrate the wins. Back to you, Lisa or Annie.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. If she drops off stage, then you know why, right? So where am I going
Dr.
next?
Yvonne want to finish off with anything? Just a
Dr.
quick one.
Yvonne, Dr. Yvonne, what do you have a main point or a last point that you want to leave us
Are you
with?
hearing me?
Thank you. Believe in yourself, trust your judgment.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Trust your judgment. And just quickly to say that because we all come from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different situations, there's not one formula that's going to fit everyone. But trust yourself. You got it.
I want to add one more. Take action. Even as small as it is, take action. So one of the things that I love to do with my clients is get them to look at that goal from a future point of view, and then coming back into their present moment, think about what's one little thing that I can do now to start to move that goal going forward, because action trumps everything.
Yeah, action and intention, very important. And I love that, believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and it's so important at 100%. Lisa, back to you.
We got this far.
I think you all get. Oh gosh, I'm hearing Annie. No, I was just about to say that this has been wonderful. You all have given so much, so much today. I hope people took notes. If you're watching on the replay, please let us know any comments. Let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions, because we do read the comments, and we do answer the questions. My data is about to expire, so I'm sorry, but I will have to close up the show today. Thank you, Dr. Yvonne, for coming on stage and sharing with us. Please join us next 2 weeks when we'll have another topic on menopause. I think that we probably need to have a part 2 for this discussion because there was just so much information here and we're just scratching the surface. But thank you so much, everyone. Those in the comments, those who reshared the event, reposted. Really appreciate you all. You all this is going to be a good year if we make it a good year. So stay positive, and I will see you all next 2 weeks. Bye, everybody. And all.
Bye.
Joining us. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Every step forward is a new beat for your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.